if you would.
Well, you saw I didn't accept it either.
Yeah.
So you don't think I would.
Yeah.
I look at it every day, but I didn't accept it.
I look at the 6 pictures that are
I accepted it with my alternate profile.
my catfishing profile.
Yeah, my catfish profile.
You catfishes out there need to lock it up.
I will double catfish you.
Yeah.
Bam!
I'll catfish your catfish.
Yeah.
I'll cane pole your catfish.
Whiskers and all.
Imagine my big ass catfish catfishing for your catfish.
I'll catfish a catfish and then we'll set up a meeting and no one will show up.
Yeah. Just be two pockets of air. Speaking of air.
Speaking of air.
Pop! 2 o'clock games.
That's a good segue.
Yeah, that was perfect. The kickball team Pop, not the popular catchphrase by magnitude off the not so popular NBC comedy sitcom Community, which is a delightful show, and I hope it comes back.
It's coming back on Thursdays, February.
Oh, they decided to agree.
Never seen it.
That's great news. Once
Never
again,
seen it.
And it's funny because it still has Chevy in it, even though Chevy has quit the show. So I guess this is the last season with Chevy. I say that word, Chevy.
Yeah, I love Chevy. His name, his personality, his comedy, his filmography.
They even named a city after him in Maryland.
They did.
And a bank.
Ooh.
Yep.
I wonder
So
if
let's
he
talk
banks
kickball.
there.
Yep.
And then uses his bank card and then just shows ID with it.
Pop in the second round definitely got their mojo going and a 10-2 victory over the Yelly Friends.
I hope he banks with Bank of America
He
because he has a lot
does.
of money and it'd help our stock price.
Does he though?
But I really feel like that
Enough
Pop
money to quit
trying to talk kickball here for Christ's sake.
Alright, Pop.
He was on a freaking Old Navy commercial last month.
Hey, I'm sure they pay. So Pop, Jelly Friends.
10-2 over Jelly Friends, and we discussed earlier that maybe Pop needed a couple of games under their belt to form that chemistry, but it only took one.
Only took one.
They popped and then popped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they pooped all over Jelly Friends 10-2. I know these two teams have a little bit of a history. They play in another league together. And I know the Jelly Friends were getting pretty hyped for this game. Right off the bat, week 1, they wanted to take Pop down a notch. But yeah, Pop rebounded quite nicely from their 1 o'clock defeat. So what can you say? I didn't hear shit about this game.
They poured it on.
They probably went as well as a 10-2 game would go.
Lots of good base running.
No, I mean I did see a few opportunities for improvement with the Jelly Friends outfield. A couple of miscues there. I know there's some deep bombs that they kicked. So, but along the same lines, though, Jelly Friends. We talked about Pounders and what we could take away from our 5-0 lopsided loss. We could look at it and say we played good defense. Well, Jelly Friends, what they can take away from this is that they still scored 2 runs against Pop for, what looks like they got a pretty good defense from what I can see. So.
Jelly Friends guy with the full purple face paint. Don't
Eric.
go full purple face paint. Get the Braveheart, man.
Oh yeah,
Like-
that was on last night.
Like when I see you with the whole purple face, you just kind of looked like, I don't know,
Grimace.
you were in a bad bar fight the night before, or not. I want to hug Grimace. Like I want to shake his big belly,
The purple
belly,
Teletubby.
like, no, that one's creepy.
Barney,
Yeah, he was somewhere in between.
one of the California raisins.
Now we're talking. Yes, thank you.
Only
Going
had
to
some
the
white
Fort
gloves.
Loves. Yeah.
Heard it.
Singing some Motown.
I talked to Eric Schleschel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but
Oh yeah, he has a name like Eric Schlusser, the author.
yeah, I spoke with him. I don't know who that
We
is,
spoke.
but I spoke with my lucky.
Read a book.
And I said, he was like, I wasn't going to
Glad
do
I
it
got
every
you
week.
that. Sorry.
He said, I wasn't going to do this every week, but a lot of people like it, so I might do it every week. And I said, well, are you a single guy? He's like, no, that's my girl over there. I was like, yeah, do it every week then.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about
somebody.
You don't have to worry about making out with chicks. Go ahead and fucking paint it like the Ultimate Warrior, man.
I did see from
That's
afar.
what I would go with, is the Ultimate Warrior. face paint.
I would do it just like my Nord character in Skyrim, actually. Get these little lines here, and then like the one there.
Yeah.
I did see from a far field, though, Amelia Harvey Cutter getting a nice bunt down the third base line and able to get on base. I saw that play from afar, so good job
call.
to the old Harvey Cutter, one of the good names here in
Very
the
much. Runs
WAKA
with a
Raptor.
Cutter.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah, I knew something wrestling. It's
So
all
that's-
that.
Speaking of beatdowns,
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about beatdowns. Panic Attack, 13. Beast Mode, 0.
Cero. You know, we brought 2 jugs of rum in, so, you know, that's just an excuse.
The
I'm gonna throw
excuses
out there.
right out the gate.
Let me tell you something, though. Let me tell you something. Panic Attack started coming over, and I'm on the sideline, and I'm enjoying my beverage. And I see this team come over, and I go, where's Panic Attack? And it's the team in the white. And I was like, really? This is the team? I didn't recognize a whole lot of people. I was not impressed. I was like, man, these people are not as good as they say they are.
45 minutes later.
Yeah, not even 45 minutes later. 45 seconds later. I had not seen bunting like this in a while. Jay Newt, the lumberjack himself, 2 quality plays that he made. One, a third baseline bunt that I hadn't seen more quality since since I started playing kickball. I mean, it hugged that line. It went right between the third base person and the cone to drive some runs around. And then flipping it on the defense, next inning, has one of those catches where he has the tiptoe on the first base bag, and Wes McClain throws a little bit to the left. He does the little diving catch and falls down with the toe on the bag.
Damn.
And I was singing his praises out there. I see good plays when I see it, but I mean, it was just systematic beatdown on beast mode. Bunts going where they need to, and their lineup is just, I know they've been playing for a while. They're positioned to do exactly what they need to do. Very aggressive base running for any team that will be playing Panic Attack next week.
Get it back to the pitcher.
Yep, get it back to the pitcher. If you don't think you're going to make that throw, it's going to be a shade late, don't make the throw. I'm not trying to say play soft or play bend, don't break defense, but if you're going to throw it to second, that guy is almost there, he's taking off to third. And a person that's on second base generally doesn't have one of the strongest arms on the team, isn't going to be able to make that throw in third by the time you get there. So, don't give up the unnecessary bases. This team is full throttle, 100% through 5 innings, and they showed up and kicked their butts.
Yeah, they're going to be one of the teams to beat. So, impressive week 1 with Panic Attack. 2 shutout victories, 18 runs total. I mean, that's what can you say? Let's talk about the next game.
Let's. That game featured a situation in the second half of their doubleheader.
Definitely featured the sexiest reffing crew in all of WAKA VA Raptor, that's for sure.
Did it ever?
The situation for Just for Kicks 3, I had the pleasure of being
Close.
I had the pleasure of being the head ref on this one. And
I had the pleasure of reffing first base.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was a
I got to talk to
Who
more
was
people.
third?
It was a rotating door there. Brian Neal.
yeah.
right at the
Neil
game.
was there. Didn't one of our girls get on there for a little?
Yeah.
I think it was mostly Brian. Yeah, it was a good game, back and forth. It was 1-1. Both teams kind of really had their opportunities to score. Like, I knew Just for Kicks, they had a runner on third base with 1 out or less, 2 out of the first 3 innings, and they weren't able to score.
Double play.
Yeah,
they got Eric Stevens coming from first, which is no small feat.
No. Love that Eric Stevens.
So they had their opportunities to score. Situation, they had their opportunities to score, but really after the first 3 innings, both teams only ended up. Actually, the first 3.5 innings, it was 1-1, and we get into the bottom of the 4th, and Sterling Wilcox leads off.
Sterling.
She got a bunt and let off, and then Brian Freed got a bunt and let off. Like
the bottom half of the lineup woken up.
Yeah, no,
man.
well, you look at it, it's like you just don't see the situation let Sterling Wilcox and Brian Freed get on base very often, but they earned it. I mean, there were 2 good bunts, a couple of miscues in the field, and then next thing you know, JFK is scoring a couple runs to take a 3-1 lead going into the 5th.
Oh, man.
Yeah, 3-1 lead. Sterling and Brian both came around to score runs.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Sterling with a nice slide, too. It was good. But
I don't remember who sacrificed freed in, but that was on a well-kicked ball.
I want to say it was Adam something. It's the guys with the shaggy hair.
Oh, yeah.
How I wouldn't say fearful, but like how nervous would you be to be on a situation defending champions and you're 1 inning away from going 0-2 in Raptor League play?
No, 1-1 because they won their first game.
Oh, never mind. My B.
No, but well, to answer your question, how nervous were they? They weren't really nervous. Like they didn't
appear
sweat
that way
it
at all.
No, I got 3-1. Yeah, it happens all the time.
Well, they had the top of their lineup coming up. Next to like Jason Kidd. No, Jason Kidd was the last out of the previous innings. They had like I think they led off with Kyle Lewis and Edge.
Yeah,
and
that's who it was.
That crew, and they did what they did, man. They just played some perfect bunts. Josh Waldrop had a nice bunt.
A front row seat because it was right over my head as first base umpire. I believe it was Blake Galakai who just dropped one. Coming into right with fading, and about a foot inside the. Not a difficult call to make. It was clearly in, but also just barely.
And there was a lot of feedback both ways on that call.
No, I think everyone knew it was in, but it was just.
It was pretty.
Stating how close it was. It was right up, just where you want to get it. So everyone.
Yeah, he dropped. It was clearly like a foot, maybe a foot and a half, like inbound. So it wasn't like a controversial call, but it was more like, "Fuck, man, I wish I could place it there whenever I wanted to." You know, like
some sexy stuff, right?
Oh, it was good. I think Gene Eford kicked in a run, sacrifice, but they ended up scoring 3 runs in the top of the 5th to take the 4-3 lead, and then. Bottom of the 5th, they closed it out.
Shut them down.
Good teams, man. That's how good teams do it. Like you said, they're not sweating the small stuff, being down 2 runs in the top of the 5th and just coming back and taking names.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. I guess we could talk about that a little bit more in the previews. But it'll be interesting to see how Just for Kicks, being that it's week 1, their only game, how they respond to that. You can go 1 or 2 ways. You can look at it positively and say, well, our bottom of the lineup really sparked a lineup, got us this close to beating situation, or crap, man, we fell apart. Who knows? I think they'll be positive about it.
So, speaking of, we will look forward to next week's game coming up in our very next segment. Sporting the WAKA glasses.
Oh, the WAKA glasses, man. We know we go all out.
Rebrand.
Yes, we brand one another.
Stay tuned.